Hello, hello. I see Genalam over there. Not sure if I'm saying that right, but hello, hello, and welcome. This is the first week where we've switched our lives from a Thursday to a Monday. So this is the big switch out right here. Um, so I wanted to talk. I wanted to talk about tonight something that's really quite real, especially for me. It was one of my biggest motivations to go into digital health, and that's because I was tired. So if you've ever set an alarm for a night shift, maybe you did it this week. This is the live for you. Um, I remember setting that alarm for 4:30 a.m. because I would get a call as a registry nurse. I'd get a call around 4:45 to let me know where to go for the day. So 4:30 was my life. That was just when I had to start functioning for the day. But now I work from my home office and I make more money than I ever did at the bedside. So drop me a like if you've ever been too tired after a shift to enjoy time at home with your family. You know, the thing you should be doing. Like, that's the most important thing, right? That's what we work for. Um, so here's what we're talking about today. Amazon just announced that they need thousands of clinical consultants for their AI rollout. And I'm going to tell you about that and how to claim your spot. So here's some breaking news for you. No, sorry, not breaking news. This is my breaking point here. The moment I realized I was snapping at my wife over nothing, it was just that I was emotionally just drained and spent from work. I had had all the conflict at work and I sort of brought it home. And I was missing all of the family events, the birthdays, and all the rest of that stuff because of the shift patterns. And it was sort of a guilt one way or a guilt the other, having to choose between patients and loved ones, right? But that all of that was somehow it seemed to come and go. The thing that stayed with me all the time was the physical toll and the exhaustion that sleep just couldn't fix. Stress eating, dread the night before a shift, and aching knees and aching back. I was taking NSAIDs before my shifts. I was taking those glucosamine and chondroitin to try and get my joints more healthy or something like that. And the truth is, just 14 hours a day standing up on your feet is just not what we were built for. We were meant to sit down sometimes. So if you're watching this on a break, in the break room, on a couch, between rounds, I see you because I was you. So here's the sort of discovery time that's changed everything for a lot of people recently. I believed that suffering was the price of serving patients, but I knew there had to be another way. And I mean, just look at some of the recent work with the NHS. Right, the last year they announced 3.4 billion with a B allocated for digital transformation for this year. Now they went back on that, but hey, the government here in the UK is struggling, right? The point is, though, they're not looking for hiring more floor nurses. And I think some of the nurses that are in the job market for nursing right now will tell you they're not hiring a lot of nurses, even though they're short everywhere. They're hiring clinical consultants to guide digital implementations. If it doesn't feel fair, you're just on the wrong side of the fence. Your skills work on the other side of the fence even better. Um, I realized that my exhaustion wasn't noble; it was unnecessary. And once I made it into digital health, one of the machine learning AI systems that I helped design cut deaths by like 20%. So that's hundreds of families saved by my little bit of clinical knowledge. And I got to tell you, I'm not special clinically speaking. I'm not different or better than. In fact, many of you are probably more clinically astute than I ever was. So but my system saved lives even without me being there physically, you know? Um, I know and I know that you know what a subtle respiratory distress looks like. Well, Amazon's AI team is going to pay you like 500 pounds a day, maybe $100 an hour, depending on which country you're in. They need that knowledge. They need to get it built into their systems. They need to know when it's working, right? Um, Here's some of the money that people don't talk about. CMS, which if you're not from the U.S., you may not recognize that. CMS is they're the government, and they hand out about 3/4 of all the dollars that are spent on healthcare in the U.S. They approved some new codes in January this year. Now, practices get $120 to $180 a month per patient for remote monitoring. Those are patients that are just like sitting there, right? But you can collect fees on them because you're monitoring them remotely. So it's creating a gold rush for clinical professionals who understand both patient care and these systems. And I got to tell you, these systems are not complicated. These systems are less complicated than interpreting blood gases, right? It's not for developers. It's not for coders. It's for humans. And it works best in the hands of humans who are clinical. One of my clients, Yvonne, she's just joined the digital health workforce. And in her first role, she's doubled the income of a bedside nurse here in the UK. Boom, straight out of the gate. Me personally, I was able to make enough money in digital health to alter the arc of my entire life. So I kind of owe a lot to it, right? The same assessment skills that right now are destroying your back, your knees, and your feet are worth a ton of money in digital health. It's a ton of money, and it's actually helpful. It's good for the world. You're doing good things. Right now, things are changing. Epic just launched their generative AI, covering 305 million patient records. They need clinical experts yesterday. Remember when Epic was first rolled out? Nurses who jumped in and said, I'm going to be an expert. Yeah, they're still banking $150 an hour. Even today, all these years later, they haven't worked a shift in God knows how many years. The WHO announced that we need 4 million digital health workers by 2030. We're at like 800,000. There's a huge opportunity here. This is exactly like when the electronic health record adoption hit back in 2008 and it became mandatory. Mandatory is coming for AI and all of these advanced systems, and the people who are early into this are going to be the ones who win. They'll be the ones who win big, right? My coaching framework shows you how to position yourself before the crowd arrives, just like I did. So I'm not teaching you something that I read in a book. I'm teaching you something I've lived. It's a big difference. And I only work with clinical people, by the way. So I really believe that clinical people should be driving this bus. So I work to get clinical people in the driver's seat. That's my whole focus. So right now, Amazon One's medical AI can process millions of data points, but it can't recognize the subtle look only a nurse sees. It has no intuition. Tech companies, they've built a Ferrari, but they need somebody who knows how to drive. They've got nothing. Every frustrating moment you've had in patient care, every unsafe staffing ratio, every broken workflow, that's intelligence. That's consulting intelligence, and they want to pay you for it. My digital health career transition guide turns your frustrations into your consulting niche. Now, it took me a year and a half to go from a digital health employee to a digital health consultant who was working freelance. But in that year and a half, I really needed some time to clear my head, get all of the shift work out of my head and think about how to do things right. It was a good time and space for me. Even right now, here's a perhaps a more extreme example. I'm working with Pac Health right now. That's in Pakistan, as the name might suggest to you. They're leapfrogging Western healthcare entirely. They're going to skip all of the in-between steps and just go straight to the end, all of the AI, machine learning, and remote monitoring. Countries that can't afford our broken system, they're just skipping to the end. They're building better ones with AI. And this creates remote opportunities that you can do from anywhere. I've worked from England for clients in Dubai and Africa. And you might be able to tell from my accent, I'm not from England. So the opportunities really are global. The expertise shortage is global, and your skills travel with you. I enjoyed the travel for a long time. I haven't worked in South America and I haven't worked in Antarctica, but I've worked everywhere else. Um, so here's a bit of a picture for you. It's no more choosing between your family and your patients and the shifts and the overtime and all the rest of that. I don't know about you, but I work. I work when my brain works best, and not when I've been put on somebody else's schedule. Not when I'm on the rota that says I have to perform at this time. I've got energy for my family. I actually enjoy my weekends, and I'm still in healthcare, still saving lives. It's just thousands at a time now through better systems. So I had guilt when I started, guilt that I wasn't going to be a real nurse, that I wasn't, really doing healthcare anymore. And let me tell you, that guilt is long gone. I'm making more impact from my home office than I ever did running between beds. So uh, here's a roadmap to get from where you are to a digital health kind of world where you've got more control, you've got more money, those kinds of things. So first of all, if you're anything like I was, your head is very clouded by fatigue, by all the rules at work, by all of the coworkers who make your life even more difficult than it even needs to be. But if you have that belief inside of you that there's got to be something else, there's got to be something bigger, there's got to be another way, you're right. It's just hard to see it when you're in the trenches, right? So what I do is I have a digital health career transition, and it shows you exactly what you need to do in order, or I show you exactly what you need to do in order to transition your clinical skills into a digital health career. That's probably weeks 1 through 4, maybe 1 through 7, sort of depending on the person. And then after that, we identify the consulting niche that's going to be best for you. Nurses do a lot of good clinical work, but they also make great leaders because we're used to being the center of activity, all things passing through the nurse, right? Well, that's called a project manager in other worlds. So we identify that, and then we help you to prepare exactly for that kind of role. And then after that, we help you to make the jump. This isn't theory. I've done it. My clients are doing it right now. They're doing it in multiple countries all around the world. It's here. This world is here. You're not crazy. There's something else available where you don't have to abandon healthcare. And you may be thinking, yeah, but I'm not clinical. Guess what? Epic, the one that's doing all that AI stuff, they don't need more programmers. They need people who've used their terrible interfaces. The biggest problem, according to Epic, for the implementation of AI is project management, is actually just getting people on board, getting them to use it. And clinical people, don't listen to technical people. Technical person could say 2 + 2 = 4, and a room full of doctors and nurses will cross their arms because you don't know what you're talking about because you're not clinical. You have to know what you're talking about before you make those kinds of, statements that say this is good, this is trustworthy, we can use this to do a better job with patient care. And you may be wondering about job security. I know I was. The first 10 years I was in digital health, I kept my stethoscope and my scrubs and my license, all because I wasn't really sure if this was a real job. Well, there's no security in destroying your job for what you're getting paid for now. And the trend for digital, do you think it's going to reverse? Do you think we're going to go backwards? Or do you think it's going to accelerate? This is just common sense. Also, if you think you're too old to change, some of this gray hair is credibility in the consulting world. You've seen what doesn't work. You can prevent multi-million-dollar, multi-million-pound mistakes. And this one really bothered me. What about my patients? Well, if you fix the system that's failing them, it fixes it for them and for you. It helps everyone, and it helps everyone who's on the floor following you. So remember, this is an opportunity right now. AI is growing, machine learning is growing. The WHO says that we're going to need those 4 million digital health workers by 2030. That's in 5 years. Amazon, Epic, NHS, they're hiring now, not 2030. They're hiring now. They want to get started now, and they have trouble finding people. The CMS reimbursements have started this month, and practices are scrambling because they're leaving money on the table and their margins are already razor thin, right? So position yourself now, or later you can compete with everyone who did. This is the time. So remember, right now, the burnout that you felt is not your weakness. It's wisdom, and it's telling you that there's another way. There's a better way. The same instincts that make you protect patients, they'll be invaluable in digital health. I've got a digital health career transition guide on my website at rodgamble.com, and it's the exact blueprint that I used. I'm not inventing something new here, I'm reporting. So DM me amazing if you want to explore how new AI roles can fit your background. And if you're serious about changing, I'll be setting up my next cohort in the new year, because everyone really should be spending the holidays with their family, right? And I don't want people to be in the throes of making these giant life changes when they should be opening presents and enjoying eggnog. So next week I'll have the next topic from my blog that I put out every week on my website. And if you want to know what it is ahead of time, you can go there and read it before I come online on Mondays. I come online on Mondays at about the same time every week. So good to see everyone. If you have questions, put it in the chat and I will attempt to respond. I definitely know how to work the chat for Instagram. I don't know how to work it really for the others just yet. Technology, right? All right, everyone. Well, good night from England. I will see everyone next week, and I think enjoy the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday in the States. We don't really celebrate it here in the UK, but maybe we'll have a turkey. All right, thanks everyone. Sorry, Dean. Show's kind of over for the for the evening, but I'll see you next week. And little snippets will be reposted over the weekend coming up. Talk to everyone soon. DM me if you have a question, or maybe if you had something sort of impolitic or embarrassing that you didn't want to say in front of a bunch of other people. That's fine. Happy to help you out. Thanks, everyone. Good night.